Alright, hello. Oh, hold on. There we go. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am opening this Dodge Viper Maisto edition, and right next to it I have a bburargo, the Italian one. I don't know how to say name, I'm not going to try too hard. So I'm walking away to grab a screwdriver because I remembered the bases on these unscrewed. Anyway, I'll open this up and compare it to this one, which I believe is from 2009. Now, I believe after that point, these two companies are the same, Maisto and Maisto, I don't know how to say it, and yeah, bburargo are now owned by the same conglomerate or whatever, and they're both made in China and technically use the same molds. So I'm just going to check when this one was made. I'm going to say, well, I don't see a website or anything on it, so I'm going to say early 2000s, late 90s, somewhere. Oh no, 2002, there we go. And that one, I believe, has a mark on it saying 2009. Yep, so theoretically, I believe they would be the same molds, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping that more to compare there. But yeah, I just wanted to open this up, find an excuse to open this up. So here we go. Dodge Viper, 1997. Dodge Viper is by far one of my favourite cars. It's a very silly V10. It's a... It's very funny. You see some pictures of them next to the same, a certain generation of Maisto that look very similar. But more so than that, the Suzuki Cappuccino actually looks very similar to it. They all kind of, I believe, actually that generation of Maisto and, yeah, that generation of Maisto and the Dodge Viper actually have the same designer. I forget his name, and that's why they look so similar. But yeah, anyway, it's a gorgeous car filled with lovely, happy, jolly 90s bubbly goodness, but it is a muscle car. It's just got those aggressive sort of vents and stylings and whatever. As you can see, this one has whatever that is, whereas this one doesn't. I don't know if these are exactly the same year model or whatever, or even, yeah. But anyway, I am going to take this off and have a look at it. Hold on. I often think I was thinking about it the other day and talking to someone about how the Dodge, here's my little kit, very useful, how the Dodge, oh, what was it? Sorry, Dodge Magnum V10 engine and the Viper V10 engine. Well, so you could make your own at-home Viper by engine swapping one of those Magnum V10s. A different engine, obviously, it's a cast block versus alloy, but you can apparently put the heads with a little bit of modification to the cooling system on a, the heads and stuff from a Viper V10 onto a Magnum V10, which means you can get more performance on it. And being a cast block means you can probably get higher compression and whatnot out of it, but don't quote me on that. I am only a studying engineer. I am not an actual engineer yet. It could be more complex than that, likely is. I'm trying to find the right screwdriver. This one? Yeah, this will do. Anyway, as I was saying, so look, the main reason I think about, oh, that's not the right one. The main reason I think about that is you can't get a Viper in V10, or a Viper in Australia easy, but you can get a Magnum V10 engine from wreckers for a relatively, well, significantly lower cost, and find a vehicle that can actually hold that. It needs to have a big engine bay. Obviously there's all the requirements about because it'd be a newly manufactured vehicle or whatever, or modified. You'd need to find chassis that can actually handle it, and finding a car chassis that's actually big enough is probably not easy. Realistically, with enough effort, you can fit anything into anything. I mean, there's that crazy Sidnet, Aston Martin Sidnet, which is like a Yaris, but there's the V8 engine one, and that thing's just crazy. I forget how they did that one. Oh, this doesn't want to unscrew. Hold on. But yeah, whole point of what I'm saying is it's possible. Ugh. So I want to be, I am studying to be a engineer. I want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to be a machinist in particular, but I want to work with industrial, commercial equipment. But I don't want to do automotive because I like automotive and I want it to be my hobby. So I don't want it to be my main source of income because making your hobby your job kind of kills the hobby. And I don't want to not like cars. I only discovered after a whole thing that I really, really like cars and the engineering and stuff behind them. Anyway, here we go. I've got it out. Just got to cut the oh yeah. So when I got this, actually, that's funny. The tires. 2 of the tires were in the wrong place. The front one was on the back one was on one. It was a whole thing. I had to try and figure out how to remove them and put them back on. But yeah, that was bothersome. But I got there. Ugh. Here we go. Come on. Ah. All right. Opened. Unlocked. There it is. The 2 Viper. This one doesn't close properly. I still haven't fully fixed this. This thing does need a bit of maintenance. Chryslers. Man, maintenance. Very important for them. See, I've got a whole theory about why people think Chryslers are shit, and I don't think it's got a lot to do with the actual engineering or the actual reliability of them. I think it has to do with the type of people that buy Chryslers, because they tend to be similar, but somewhat less prestigious than the people who buy, well, Chrysler, Dodge, that buy, let's say, Mercedes. Because, you know, it's a luxury brand, and, you know, it's prestigious and all that, but these sort of people buy them within their, so the first owner will buy them and keep them and take them to, like, their whatever shop, because they can afford all that. They can go to just dealership and warranty and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to second-hand owner, they want the prestige without the cost of it, so they're not going to do all the maintenance stuff. So therefore, they get a Mercedes and, you know, they don't do the maintenance. They're not doing it themselves. They're not taking it to the shop because they don't want to fork out the cost. And then it starts running like shit and dies. And then they're like, oh, wow, this car is so unreliable. But Toyota knows its market. And its market is low maintenance. Chrysler doesn't do that because it can't compete on those grounds. It can compete on performance. It can compete on style and aesthetic. Because, my God, Chryslers are gorgeous. Well, that doesn't open. Huh? What? That's disappointing. I guess they are different molds. Ooh. There we go, there's the engine bay on that one, there's the engine bay on this one. Oh, they're different, somewhat different. You might, can't really see from that angle. There we go. This thing doesn't like staying up. I fucked around in it a bit. Yeah, the chrome is much nicer on that one than they did. But the actual, so heads and valves and stems and stuff look better on this. I don't know which one I like better. Well, I'm going to get a better look at this. There we go. On the inside, we got the doors. The old steering wheel, which controls the wheels for real. I had to fix that on the other one because the wheels were fucked up. There you go. There's the underside. That is very different, actually, to this one. Very different models. That snaps off, which surprised me. I don't know. So obviously they're different years, I'm assuming. Because they look very different on... Yeah. Even like the differential and... Well, alright. Yeah, I don't know what I call that. I like these lights. I like them. I like the Dodge Neon. And I kind of I took the bumper off this early because when I was doing maintenance, I kind of liked the look of it without the bumper. It's less aggressive and more softer and rounded, which I think works. But, you know, it's meant to be an aggressive muscle car because it's a Dodge fucking Viper. Yeah, can't really get these in Australia. Anyway, what I was saying about the whole Chrysler thing is people shit talk Chryslers because Chryslers are unreliable, but Chryslers aren't actually unreliable. It is the people who buy Chryslers that are unreliable. I really, really, really like the Chrysler 300, I think it's C. You know, the first generation ones, second generation ones look iffy. I don't like them as much, but the first generation ones, gorgeous, lovely. But people keep saying they're unreliable piece of shit, except the diesel apparently. But the diesel's a Mercedes, and they have the same problem. But people don't care of them. But diesel, anyway. I think it just comes down to people not taking care of those cars. I see a lot of Chrysler 300s on the road, so they're not an unreliable car. From what I can tell, it's more so people thrash them. Sort of people want them to treat them like shit, and then go around telling people not to get them. And I like them. I don't know much about the interiors, and people complain they're too plasticky and blah blah blah. I actually haven't had the only interior of a car that I've really spent a lot of time off that I fucking hated was the AU Falcon. I love the AU Falcon. I love the XR6. I love the XR8. I love these roundies. I love the outside. I like the interior of the dark ones with the wood. But the standard, so I think my mum, growing up, we had an AU Falcon Fort, which had the front bench seat. One of the later last cars to really have those sort of front bench seats. They went away because they're unsafe. Anyway, she could fit all of us kids in there, 6 of, because they were, yeah. Anyway, the whole thing was... the inside was like this weird blue plastic, and it just looked shit. It didn't age very well. I didn't like it. My Mitsubishi 380, it is gorgeous on the inside. Sure, it's obviously black plastic, but it doesn't feel bad. It does have the felt seats and everything. Neither of my 2 luxury models. Actually, one of them is a luxury model, but it doesn't have leather seats, and that's the one thing it doesn't have, but it's got everything else as luxury. I think it might have been swapped out when I bought it, but I only spent $1,000 on that, so I'm not particularly fussed. They're nice cars. My one's currently dead, as in my old daily, my first car. It's got a bad belt. It's got a bad, I need to replace the belt and bad tensioner. It might come back to life. It's got a heating problem too, and that's the big one I need to fix. I'm going to do that and switch it with the one at my dad's, and probably fix that one up and sell it. And then the other one I'm going to do funny things to. Maybe I'll just, because it's going to be a bush car, maybe I'll home build a fucking supercharger. But yeah, so there we go. I haven't really talked about these models. Don't really know what to say about them. I actually think I prefer the bburargo. The doors, I don't know how to say the Italian word. Anyway, ooh, that's a rough finish. That doesn't feel as good. That doesn't click. Oh, it does open, but it's just that feels so dinky. I don't like that. I want like the metal around it. That door feels a lot better than this one. What the heck? So it's got like wheel fender things on this one. I don't think the other one has that. No. Okay. Well, it probably should. Like, if it was a production car, surely it would have them. Because you don't really want the tires to fling shit into the engine bay like that. I don't know. That's weird. Maybe it did have them at some point. Someone's fucked around with this. I don't really know what's original, what's not. I do like the styling of it. You can make a real fucking cool hot rod out of this as like a model. But I don't know. I like it. I like Dodge Vipers too much. They're just cool. They're just cool. They're the epitome of cool. But like cool in like the over the top. Wow, that molding's fucking horrible. So much better on that one. Of the cool and like the over the top sort of goofy, manly man sort of way. But it's a Miata that has a lot to compensate for. But man, it's just so fucking cool, Dodge Vipers. I like Dodge Vipers. I love Dodge Neons too. You don't see a lot of them in Australia. Dodge Neons were sold as Chrysler Neons here. In the UK, apparently you still see a decent amount of them. But yeah, they're, I don't know. I like Chrysler. Well, I did like Chrysler. They don't like how they're Stellantis and it's like that big sort of fucking fear. Ugh. I don't like what's happened to Mitsubishi and Chrysler and all that. I liked it when they were individual companies, but this is just progress in the way the industrial society goes. Cool things can't last forever, and the average young people aren't buying cars anymore, which means they aren't making cool cars because young people aren't buying cars. It's all old people. It's all mostly like the physically disabled, which is why SUVs become so big. Yeah. I was gonna go grab a Cadillac here, but I've also got a Mercedes, the SLR, which I think is like on the it's a 1/18th, same scale, and it's a bburargo. Yeah, just gonna. Right, look at this dude. Comparing the size, we'll put it in the art. So, wow, that rolls really fucking nice. Oh, not as nice, but that one was fucked up. So, oh, look at that. Wow, Dodge Vipers are kind of That's substantially bigger. Oh. I mean, I know these are also meant to be relatively... They're not small cars, but... Man. There was almost a fucking Mercedes SLR, but like a Dodge Viper. And that thing would have been rad. I kind of wish Mercedes took Dodge and Chrysler and just made Chrysler their poverty division, which was, I think, their plan, which is hilarious, but it would have saved Chrysler from their current fate, and yeah, maybe Mercedes wouldn't be as ugly as they are now, because my god, I don't know why Mercedes is like that and why they just keep trying to make cars ugly and uglier with the big stupid grills. The headlights look alright. Actually, one thing I've noticed about modern headlights is European cars do them better. I'm not a big fan of European cars, but I am I've really noticed on the road. I drive my little Corolla. It's lower than most. It's my 82K70 Corolla. It is lower on the ground than most cars, but it is higher off the ground than most cars. But anyway, a lot of like SUVs will flashbang me from the back, but I've noticed, so it's very bad with like Chinese cars, with LED lights, and it's really bad with Toyotas as well, in particular. But Mercedes, Volkswagens, pretty much anything that's European, don't fucking blind me as much as the Japanese and Asian cars, which is weird. The high-end is actually pretty good with their headlights too. But in general, Toyotas are really bad when it comes to that. My car's little, it's got a light interior. I have a sort of night blindness thing. My vision's good. I'm bad with like clashing lighting conditions, but if it's like unified, my vision is a lot better than normal. And because of this, I've got these glasses I use that help kind of level everything out when I'm driving at night, so headlights don't blind me. But yeah. Anyway, there we go. There's my, I guess, review of the Dodge Viper, Maisto, and bburargo. I do prefer this one, but he's still cool. Let's get rid of that Mercedes. I don't think Chrysler's like being near Mercedes, not after what they did to them. And there we go. Very cool. Chrysler Crossfires are pretty cool. Wouldn't mind one. Imagine putting one of these V10s in one of them. I don't think they'd fit, but that'd be a pretty fucking sick car. Maybe you could put a Dodge Magnum engine. Ooh, I'm going down a path. Anyway, well, thanks for watching. Actually, my first point of reference for these is when I played GTA 3 and I was younger. There was a car. I don't remember what it was. It's not the Cheetah, and it's not the Diablo. There was another one. Anyway, it was pretty much a Dodge Viper coupe. And that thing was really fast. You stole it from the dealership, and you couldn't turn for shit. But anyway, I think it was, yeah, pretty much just Dodge Viper. That game, fuck, memories. Flying the tank in that. I'm rambling. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't know what the point was. I had fun. Thank you. Bye.